Hey everybody, welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners. I am joined by my partner in podcasting, Emily Gray Steele. Emily, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about personality types.
Okay,
We're talking
which is
about
complex.
Yes. How do I lead such a variety of personality types when they all have different fears, communication styles, and needs?
Okay, because that can feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right?
If everyone's so different and has all these
Yes.
different ways to communicate, things they need,
Yeah.
how they want information, how do I talk to this person, what are they afraid of? It's a lot.
It's overwhelming, and it's funny. I see this most when we come into organizations and we do these personality workshops to help them understand each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they look at all the tools. They look at the summaries we give, the communication sheets, all the different things that will help them move forward. But then there is that moment of, oh my gosh, I've got these tools. Now, how do I actually use them? Because there are so many people. Because when you think about it, I've got to contextualize my conversations for every single person based on
All right,
how
who am I
they
talking
hear.
to? How are they going to hear this?
Yes.
What are
I've
we
gotta go have a
talking
hard
about? How is it going
conversation.
to affect them? Yeah.
Yeah, what are they afraid of? There's
Yeah, you just
so
start
many
going
factors.
down all this whole
Because most leaders are measuring their to-do list, which is
Yeah.
never ending, with, oh my gosh, now here's the different ways I need to lead
I have to
and
think about that
communicate.
too.
Yeah, it is too much. And I think there's a couple things to consider with this. The first is, again, this goes back to episode 24. We talked about inward focus versus outward focus. If we have that sharp inward focus to care for ourselves, to invest in ourselves, really to lead ourselves, now we can have a healthy outward focus. So
It doesn't seem so complex to talk to somebody
It
because
doesn't.
you're like, okay, how they're going to take this matters.
yeah, we're more likely to consider them in a healthy way, right? And so I think that's step one is we have to show up as healthy leaders. To do any of this, to deploy any of this requires leadership health.
Right.
And then that second piece is understanding that when we are healthy, so there's 9 different levels of health for every personality type. And this is the magic that kind of gives people a ladder to climb to say, I want to be better. It's super helpful. But to understand that those healthy levels, we're flexible. We're not so rigid. It has to be my way. We're flexible. And what that does is it creates space for other people's personalities. Even if they're not having a good day and they're real rigid and they're looking for a fight, we can create space for that as a leader to say, hey, we don't have to fight. Let's talk about this. But it takes that leadership health. And so if we have that, we're far more flexible. And I think helping leaders understand how much work goes into fixing problems that are
Yeah.
caused by interpersonal issues.
Yes.
That's when you think about organizational stress. Occasionally it's an outside thing like, oh, are we going to have enough business? Are we going to get new clients in? 99%
You're just
of
basic
the time,
to-do list.
yeah, just basic stuff. But 99% of the time it is, we ain't getting along. Things are not going well. And so
And that's the stuff you want to avoid too. You're like, oh my God, I have to get up today and I have to go deal with the X, Y, and Z at work. And
Yeah.
it's probably the
Yeah.
interpersonal shenanigans.
it's always the
That's the
interpersonal stuff. I got to
problem.
go have a hard conversation with Ron. Well, I don't want to do that. I'm going to put that off till the very last part of the day because I know I'm going to do it bad. Again, we go back to my obsession with Ron. I don't know why, but every time I have an example of somebody doing badly, it's Ron. I think I was hurt by someone. I don't know. We don't have time to unpack
Poor
that.
Ron.
This is leadership shorts. This is not a history lesson here. But I think understanding for leaders, it becomes so practical to be able to really consider the person on the other side.
Yeah.
That it's not just this foo-foo, hey, we all want to feel good. Like this is the path. This
Right.
is how we lead well. And it's so much easier to do that than it is to unwind all the communication issue, the miscommunication, the hurt feelings.
Yeah. Now we have to go, instead of actually solving the real problem that we started at, we have all these other problems that have developed because someone didn't
Yes.
send something wrong or right, or
Yeah.
someone said something in a weird way, or
Yep.
they didn't hear it the way that it was meant, that kind of thing.
Which brings up something we talked about before, which was I would love if we could quantify the X number of problems a leader deals with in a day. How many are the actual function of what we do as an organization that need to get done? And how many are interpersonal? I'm dealing with people problems because we're not communicating well.
not
Yes.
communicating correctly.
And I think it's the majority of that because when people promote, it's funny how often the conversation is, yeah, I see the tasks, but I also see that everything else is just people problems. Now I am in the babysitting business. I'm in the constantly developing people and dealing with their issues.
Yeah.
All of it comes from this. If we can learn as leaders how to do this, and I think over time maybe it becomes more instinctual, right? Like we get better at it. We don't have to
Right.
sit
It becomes
and
a
go,
habit, and you're not just
Yes.
it's not doesn't take us so much of your mind power to be like, okay,
Yes.
this is how this person. You don't have to review every
Yeah.
time. Okay, how is this person going to hear this? How is this person going to interpret this?
Yeah.
How is this person? You just kind of know.
You kind of know
as you
it.
work with them.
But it takes practice to get there. So the first few times I got to go have a hard conversation with Ron. Well, let's pull up his assessment. Let's look at what he's afraid of. Because often, like, fear is what keeps us trapped. If we know that, we can lead him. And so let's look at that. And over time, we don't have to look at it as much because we remember it. That's where it becomes practical and fast. And so over time, it will get faster and faster and faster, even if this doesn't come naturally to us at first.
Because you've invested in that person.
Yeah.
And now they can see that and they can feel that.
Yep.
And then it gets easier for you too. So it's really kind of this win-win for everyone involved.
Yeah,
if you're
it
able
really
to
is.
And knowing how you work too. And knowing how they're going to interact with you.
Yes.
So it becomes a way of being able to handle that. And everyone's personality has a big benefit, you know?
Yes.
So this is not all a negative thing.
And that's really what we're trying to unlock. Like we call our workshops Unlocking You, because it really is, let's unlock the potential and make sure we're not letting the darker aspects of our personality come out.
Take over.
Yeah, let's make sure that we are intentionally choosing to be healthier. And it unlocks crazy levels of impact and productivity and the things that we really want out of this.
And the healthier you get, the easier it is to kind of understand that and work with somebody. That's that outward focus.
Yes.
That ability to be able to actually do that and handle that easier.
I love it.
More flawlessly.
Yep. So leaders, if you are overwhelmed by the sheer number of personalities you have to deal with on a daily basis, get to know them, do some assessments to really understand them. Once you do that, focus on you, make sure you're showing up as healthy, and then really contextualize what you're doing to them. If you'll consider that person on the other side, intentionally lead them, you're going to see so much better results. And over time, this does become habit. This becomes a practice that we function this way, we think this way, versus it just being a tool. And that's where you start to unlock new levels for your team, for your organization, new levels of impact. Emily, I love this conversation. If people want to send us their own questions, where do they send it to?
lab@forwardpartners.net.
lab@forwardpartners.net. If they want to find us online on the socials, where do they find us?
@forwardpartner.
@forwardpartner. We are constantly putting out content. We are dedicated to giving away everything we teach, everything we're learning on the ground doing this work. Emily, thank you for podcasting with me. Danny, thank you for producing. Wilco Workspaces, thank you for hosting us and partnering with us on this. We will see you right back here in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.